Right now, you may feel like you're not making any progress, but that may not actually be the case. You actually may be making progress, but you're just not noticing it just yet because it's not the right time for it to come to fruition. Take a look around me right now. What do you see? A bunch of trees that are dead, right? Because it's winter. Right now, it's winter, and that means everything around me is not growing, right? It's at a dormant state. But you know what's interesting? Just because to the eye it looks like nothing's happening, there's actually a lot of stuff that's happening down below in the earth's surface, in the soil. It's actually gathering a lot of nutrients so that what? It can prepare for the next season of growth. Spring, right? But see, if we judge winter right now for what season it is, because it's so dark and it's not the way that you want it, you want to make stuff happen, and you're not seeing enough progress right now, just recognize the next season is around the corner. You have to be patient. Sometimes you're not going to see all the results that you want to see in your life right away. In fact, I was just thinking about this morning. Each morning I do my deep work task of the day. I work for 6 hours and I'm working on a course. I'm building out this program, writing the script. So I work for 6 hours straight every day and it's super enjoyable. But the thing is, today, I didn't feel like I made much progress. Ultimately I did. I was focused the same amount of hours and I really did make progress, but it didn't appear that way to me, especially when I was comparing it to some of these previous days. Because in those days, I actually wrote a lot of words, whereas today it was more like editing some of the work that I did and making sure that it made sense. And so because of that, I started to think, I didn't make enough progress. It's like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting there as fast as I want. But I had to catch myself because I realized this is just part of the process. You see, some days it's going to feel like you're making more progress than others, even though you actually are working towards the goal at the same rate. But it may look differently. And you need to make sure that you're not getting caught up in the appearances. Because if all you're doing is just looking at how it appears, you're not seeing the truth. The fact is that I did the work. I put in the same amount of hours, I put in the same amount of effort, and I'm going to receive the reward at the end. So I shouldn't judge it for that. And it's the same thing with whatever it is that you feel like you're not making enough progress with. You know, if you feel like right now you're still at this stalemate, you're going at a snail's pace race, right? You're not making as much progress as you want. Ask yourself, are you still putting in the effort? Are you putting in enough effort every day? And if the answer is yes, then recognize that and then say, okay, I don't need to force myself. When the time comes, it'll be the right time for me to see the progress. You're not going to see it right away. I've seen this in so many areas of my life. I'll give you an example. Some of you may know that I built up an Instagram following on Instagram, obviously. And back in 2016, that's when I started. So I started like everybody else at 0 followers. Within the span of 6 months, I was able to gain 40,000 followers, right? But it was slow at first. It was exponential. At first, it seemed like nothing was happening. Almost, I started questioning, is this worth doing? But see, I had the purpose, the drive behind why I was doing it, and so I was able to grow. Because I didn't let the numbers affect me. I knew that if it was meant to happen, it was meant to happen. All that mattered to me is I put in the effort. Every day I just put in the effort because I cared about what I was working on. And so that effort, it came a reward at the end, basically, right? But it's not always going to be like that. It's not always going to come within, say, the span of 6 months. Sometimes it could be years before you notice the things that you did before are now showing their fruits. You see what I'm saying? Some things that you did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, are now showing themselves in terms of the rewards you're getting. It also works the other way around. So you see this with older people, right? Some of the things that they did when they were younger are starting to catch up to them, right? They went out partying, drinking, smoking, And now they're seeing the health effects, the consequences of their actions. They didn't notice it then, but now they're noticing it now, right? But in a positive sense, right? When you put in that effort every single day, and you just focus on what task is at hand, and you don't worry about the outcome, you only focus on the now, you put in that work, you will see the results at the end. But you can't be so caught up in what's going to happen, because you have no clue. You have no clue when the reward is going to come, and you don't know how it's going to come either. But it will come. That's the best mindset to have, because it's absolutely true. You can't put in some effort and not get some reward out of it. The amount of effort you put in often dictates the reward that you get out. If you're not putting in enough effort, then the reward is not going to be as substantial as you probably want. So ask yourself, what stuff are you doing every single day that's going to get you to the goals that you want? Do you feel like you're making enough progress? And it doesn't matter how it appears. Logically ask yourself, are you doing the work? And if you are, then just relax for a moment and see, like, it's okay. I'm doing what I can, and then that's it. You need to do your work every day and then be done. This was a huge realization I had a few years ago, because I would always be in this like go, go, go state, no matter what. It was like, didn't matter what time of day it was, I just kept working. And that was not good. It felt good in the moment because I said, like, I want to get to my reward faster. But you can't rush this process. You could keep going and going, but you're going to burn yourself out. You need to take that time each day to rest. It's just the same way that the world works, right? In terms of cyclical years, and the same way the sun rises every day. You know, I like to tie things back to nature. One, because I'm in nature, and so I see it around me, and it makes me think, wow, I'm so similar to the way nature works, because that's how it's supposed to be. When you are in alignment with nature, you realize, oh, this makes sense now, right? And so the thing is, I kind of lost my train of thought here, but the thing is, with the sun, the way that it rises every single day, and then the moon comes up, it's the same cycle that happens with you. You need to be willing to do the work in daytime, just the same way the sun does, use your energy, but then pull back, relax. You can't constantly be working like the way the sun does. If the sun just stayed up, everything would burn, it would fry, right? It's the same thing with you. You can't rush the process. See, right now we're in this season of winter. You can't speed this up. This is just how nature works. So it doesn't matter how you feel about it, right? Doesn't matter how it appears. All that matters is each day is going by, and eventually you're going to get to spring. Eventually you're going to see the fruits of the hard work, regardless of how you see it right now. So just recognize, as long as you're on the right track, as long as you're working every single day, you're making progress. Don't worry about how it looks.